Okay. I'm Marie.
Okay.
So today we're letting the cards decide.
We
Let's
are.
see
We're very excited.
what is the theme? Ooh, the Mother of Cups.
Ooh, I like that card.
It's such a pretty card.
Yeah, it is. And how amazing the cat seems just so centered. The first thing that came up to me is I used to have a cat like that. She was
Oh,
black and white, and she was an amazing cat. Uh, so this cat is like in this bush of, flowers, and
yeah.
there's a cup there, Mother of Cups.
So cups and tarot have to do with our relationships and our feelings and our emotions. And the Mother of Cups have kind of like grown through that and are very mature in that. And so they know both how to feel things. They're also very compassionate, but they let their emotions, but they don't get overrun by their emotions in the sense that like they'll let themselves be angry or sad or all that, but they won't also like feed into the story. And so
Uh-huh.
it's like finding that balance
Beautiful.
of, we were actually talking about that recently
Yeah,
together, just this
yeah.
importance of not needing to like always be, like perfect or, not express things.
Hmm.
Um, and allow the emotions to go through you, but also then not to get attached to them or to fuel them or to build the story as like something
Right,
bigger than it is.
right. So allowing them to flow through you, kind of like a cloud, but not saying, "Oh, I want to hold on to that, and that's going to become part of my victimhood story."
Yeah.
I feel like that's resonating so deeply right now, where we are as mankind, where we're really in the process of letting go of our story, letting go
Mhm.
of our attachments to telling ourselves something and then being who we are. I just listened to Dr. David Clements the other day, and he was talking about imagine yourself being on an island, and then imagine yourself like swimming out into the ocean. That's symbolic for letting go of all of your security, all of your things, all of your relationships, all of your thoughts, right? And then imagine yourself just being there in the middle of the ocean without a life vest, without any support. Like, how do you feel?
Well,
And to
that's
me,
scary to me.
right? I had both emotions come up. Part of me was like, oh, that's amazing. Like just floating there, looking up and having like
Yeah.
kilometers of ocean beneath you. And then the other part was like, okay, but what about
A shark.
what about all this stuff that I need, So 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 I think that's coming up because it's like we still have this attachment that we need to discover within ourselves. What is it that
Mm,
freaks out with inside of me when I say, can I release this? What is it that like,
mhm.
oh, tightens and like who am I without this story? Who am I without telling myself that I need my title or my partner to validate me or my friends or.
That is a big one for me too these days. Like I've been really thinking, who am I if I'm not anything like just who am I?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like even these days I've been realizing that I've been doing so much healing in the past that now that's kind of become my identity and I'm trying to figure out, well, if I don't do that anymore,
Yeah,
then it's like what if I didn't have to work? What would I do? It's a really
yes,
interesting question
it
to
really
ask.
is. And he also mentioned that your spiritual identity is the hardest one to let go of because it's
Yeah.
like, I've done all this healing and I went to, the shamanic training and I've done all this Joe Dispenza and, that's me, right? But
Yeah,
it's like, no, but that's not you either because you
I
can't
know.
let go of it. And so that means it's not you. It's not you. Anything that you can let go of is not you. And
It's
that's
weird.
that's when it becomes weird, right? That's when we're like, if I had the chance to retire today, would I be comfortable?
Yeah. And what would I do?
And what would I
You know,
do? And would
like
I
what would I want
create
to do?
more drama in my life because I'm attached to drama, right? Would I
Yeah.
recreate it? And so I think this card is really asking us, are you ready to step into who you truly are without all those stories, without
Mm.
that baggage? stepping into this new world as we speak of so often, or we think of, without, because it's like you can't bring that backpack with you. And
Mm,
would you rather carry the backpack or would you rather move forward? And that's a tough
mm.
one.
That really is a tough one. That's a very interesting question and something
Mm.
I've been also thinking a lot about. So thank you for
Yes. Yes. And what does it feel like? So I highly recommend to anyone who's listening to try that out. Try swimming out, mentally in the middle of the ocean, like do it as a meditation. See what it feels like to just float there. Just you, the sky, and the ocean.
that. Mm,
Who
hmm.
are you
Yeah.
then?
Who are you? Yeah,
Mm.
that's really interesting. Well, shall we just pick a little card of love
Yeah.
to help with that?
Yes.
A card to encourage us right now. Ooh, the Two of Pentacles.
Nice.
It's funny because we were just talking about being
Yeah.
almost like being more alone, and here we have these two cats pop up.
Right.
And maybe those are the two parts of ourselves, actually. Different parts of ourselves that because I was realizing the other day when I was trying that idea out of like, well, who am I?
Hmm.
I realized that the Catherine in me is very attached to being Catherine. Even if I can be not happy with myself or criticize myself or I have a lot of it's not, but all of a sudden I was like, well, if I'm not me,
Hmm.
who like it's very strange. And so there is this like these parts of ourselves that are still very, very attached to being us. And I don't think that they're bad. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think we've come down to be in a human experience and I'm in this human form. And so I don't think I necessarily need to not be me. But
Hmm.
it's an interesting question to ask, like, who is the real me?
It
Um,
really is. And I think in this card is so beautiful too, because it's kind of like you swam out, you came back, and now you realize you can be with the other, with another person, with another cat, with another you, and you can still be in that relationship, but you can be coming from a very different viewpoint. You no
yeah.
longer need to own that other aspect of you. You realize it's there. You're still playing your role. You're still going to work, whatever you're doing. You're still doing those things, but you also know that there's a deeper part of you that's constantly there observing all of those things.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I think it's telling us that we're still in relationship with life. We're still in relationship with the others, and we're still in relationship with all the other aspects of ourselves, but we don't have to own it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Doesn't have
And
to
this
be
one also is
ours.
just about juggling. And
Yeah.
I think it's about like finding like it's like often talks about like juggling your time, but juggling also like your, maybe juggling like your priorities or your, like where you are compared to like your family life or and I think it goes perfectly with what you just said, which is we come back in and then we have to almost find our new place in that relationship
Yeah,
or in our life or with this kind of other part of ourselves that's kind of being awoken or awakened.
absolutely. And something else comes up, which is Eckhart Tolle says, you don't have a life, you are life.
Mm, mm, interesting.
And if
Yeah.
we let that really truly land within ourselves, then we realize that all the other aspects, they can still be there, don't have to be different. You just
Mm,
are
yeah.
different because you know
Yeah.
that you're life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I love what you just said there too, because I think it's a lot like sometimes I realize I can be trying so hard to think about it and understand it, but in the end, it's actually just being it
Mm,
is and not necessarily trying to understand it or trying to figure it out or trying to find like a meaning or a purpose or all that. It's just like being.
yeah.
And every once in a while I'll get like this like, like I'll understand that. And then I go back to like trying to figure it out. So,
Yeah, you
anyway,
just perfectly described the two aspects of ourselves, right? So
yeah, yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you
Well,
for this. I think I would recommend, or appreciate if people also share their own experience of these two aspects of themselves, and also if they tried meditating and swimming out and what actually happened to them when that happened.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
you just swim out
You
and
just swim
be
out. Hmm.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, thank
Okay.
you. for me.
Thank you.
I'll see you next video.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.